to Digital Deluxe Podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Digital Deluxe Podcast, episode numero cuatro, or as Colin would like to say it, number 4, because he unfortunately failed Spanish class. Actually, I don't know if that's true or not, but you know what they say. That's what I'm gonna tell my friends, so it becomes fact. Welcome back, Senor Colin Johnson, aka Two Left Feet, aka Calling Me Maybe. Before we jump into this whole aspect that is a Digital Deluxe Podcast, this phenomenon that is, sweeping the nation. Okay, it's not really doing that. That's Pokemon Go. That we're gonna talk about that as well. Dude, welcome back. Let us know how did your trip with AFC Wichita go, man?
Have to talk about it if you don't want
I
to.
mean, just let us know what you do, for FC Wichita, like how you what you're taking your trips out for, so that way whenever you're not here for those trips, people know what to look out for when they follow you on Twitter, and and what to expect those nights, and you're not here able to cover us, but you're over there out there covering FC Wichita, man.
Yeah, well, basically, I work really closely with the team, with the staff, with the coaches, with the fans. I travel to pretty much every single game. I do a lot of like their social media type stuff. Our graphic designers have actually been doing some work for them recently, which is really good. I just do a lot with the team. I'm making some highlight packages for some of the players because a lot of the players that play on this team are players that want to get to the next level. So they're semi-pro right now, but they really want to get to the next level. So basically, I'll just make packages for them, send them off to other teams, basically work as their agent in a lot of ways, which is really fun. And then I write a lot of game reports, match reports, do interviews with the coaches and players, all kinds of stuff. But the season just ended. That will be the last time that until next summer that you guys will miss me, which is good. But we ended up losing 4-0 in the semifinals to a team we only tied barely 1-1 in regular season. So it wasn't a great way to end the season, unfortunately.
Man, it happens. Mexico lost 7-0 against Chile, which we had actually just beat literally like not more than 2 weeks ago. So I know exactly how it can feel. Um, but again, I just wanted them to let for them to know what you were doing, what you do on the outside. So if anybody's looking for anybody as far as social media coverage, we have our man Colin Johnson, who's willing and able to travel to those games for you.
Always.
Pay his food, just give him a little give him a little hostel, maybe a little couch to sleep on, and he'll take care of the rest. Don't even worry about it. Now, one of the things that we're gonna start off with, and it's pretty much get it out the way. It's the phenomenon that everybody's been talking about, everybody's been playing. It actually made Colin Johnson go out there into the world and actually go hiking. Colin, Pokemon Go. I mean, I know you're playing it. I'm playing it. My wife is playing it. A bunch of my coworkers are playing it. I mean, what is this thing that's sweeping like making everybody go outside? I mean, I understand it's just Pokemon, but if you really look at it, the game itself is just a show. It's like literally nothing yet, you know?
Yeah.
Niantic has another game called Ingress that honestly is pretty amazing. It was pretty popular for its time as well. Has a little niche following as well. But Pokemon Go is just it has its moments where you capture your Pokemon, you do your gym battles, but there's no trading, there's no friend battles, none of that stuff. But Colin, what do you think? Why do you think people like it? I mean, what is it that makes you want to actually go outside and go catch it? Catch them all, as they say.
I mean, it's really unbelievable what's happened. I don't think anything has really swept a nation like this. I mean, if you look at what's happening in the world right now, like in Kansas, all right, this is Kansas where people don't even think we have electricity. There was 5, 6, 700 people on a bridge because we were all trying to gather around these lures, these lure modules, the things that draw Pokemon closer to you. And the idea that you can go out and find people anywhere doing this is great. And I think the different impacts it's having outside of just it being a good game also really helps. But like you said, it's barely developed at all. Like they have so much more room to grow this game. You look a year, 2 years, 5 years in the future, I think this will be the biggest thing, period. Because it puts this generation that is now, it's mostly 18 and up kids, because a lot of you basically have to have a car to play it. You can't just stay at your house and walk around your neighborhood and become the master and catch them all. You have to move around. So, but the generation that's 18, 21 above right now are the people that grew up with these games, that grew up with Pokemon Red, Pokemon Yellow. 1998 was when they first came out, and I've played every single one since then, except for obviously the DS games and stuff like that. I kind of grew out of it a little bit there, but now it gives us another opportunity to get back into this genre, back into everything, and it's just incredible. Like I've never seen anything like it.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy because let me tell you. So we have this thing at work. It's where I work, we have different health competitions and health things that if you're able to, that you actually get discounts based, for your benefits and insurance, later on in the actual job cycle. So one of the things that they do is they had a step challenge at work, right? Perfect timing. Pokemon Go comes out. Maybe two or three people would go out and take walks together around the place where we work. But Pokemon Go came out, and for example, today alone, we had about 15 people all go out to the park for lunch, have a picnic, and just like go out there and catching Pokemon. So this is funny because like even though it's like a small space for us where we work and we all know each other, we've never really congregated or combined in that manner unless it was like for a potluck or for like a celebration for somebody's birthday or something like that. But this is making everybody want to get together, go to the park, go out and out there, enjoy your day, have a picnic, and just congregate and just. It honestly makes productivity a lot better at
Yeah.
work because everybody feels better about it. They're out there walking, exercising, and everything, getting out of getting all those nostalgia factor out of the way. And of course, people who don't know about it start asking people like, "Yo, what is that? Is that a
Yeah,
bird? Is that
exactly.
a mouse? Like, what are these names?" And then of course, perfect and random strangers say, "Hey, there's a Pokemon over here that's like rare, or there's a Charizard over here, there's a freaking thing over here," and everybody just goes out there and goes crazy. So I mean, so far it's a lot of great stories that we're hearing of people going out there and like socializing. Unfortunately, there is some bad stuff, but the bad stuff will always come with the good stuff. It's kind of like the way that yin and yang works. It always has to happen. We're not gonna bring any light to the bad stuff, but just be careful out there. Do always go and poke.
Keep your head up.
Keep your head up. Go out there with friends. Don't go out there alone. And please, for the love of God, stop going out there like at 2, 3 in the morning. Honestly, it's what they say. Nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m. So
Yeah.
I mean, just don't do it. Keep yourself safe. No driving in Pokemon, as they say. It's the same thing as drinking and driving. You don't want to do that. You definitely we do not endorse that here. But before we go ahead and just talk about what is Pokemon Go, and we kind of move forward to maybe another subject because I mean honestly everybody's been talking about it. If you haven't downloaded it yet, it is a free app, pretty much on iOS, Android devices. You can pretty much find it. It does have some microtransactions, but honestly, if you just find Pokestops, you really don't need it.
Yeah, you don't. It's
But
all
what
optional. It's just stuff that makes the game easier for you, which is what, makes it great because it's not pay to play. A lot of games like this, you get to a certain level and you can't progress any further than you are without paying money. But this, you don't have to. It just makes things easier for you. Yeah, of course it's an option. But with all the Pokestops, you pretty much get everything you absolutely need. There's obviously like expanding your inventory, different stuff like that makes the game easier for you, but I haven't spent a cent yet and I'm not falling behind. So,
I mean, it's honestly the beginning way that you level is pretty nice. Every time you catch a new Pokemon, you get more experience for it. Sometimes you
yeah.
get this thing called Lucky Eggs that you go ahead and use and it's double the experience points. So with that, real quick, we're gonna break down into a little segment. It's gonna be Pokemon Go tips. It's gonna be quick little tips for you. One thing that everybody's noticing is the battery drainage on your phone because of it. So a lot of people have been buying these external battery chargers called, I use Anchor. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what you use. They're pretty much you can find them on Amazon. They're pretty cheap, $20. Somewhere up to $60 depending on how many charges you want. We definitely suggest carrying that for yourself if you're going to go on a long trek. Sometimes people rely a lot on their phones and don't memorize phone numbers anymore. So if you're one of those people, make sure that your phone doesn't die on you and you still have some way to contact somebody in case you do get lost when you go hiking with it. Um, but one of the biggest things you want to do with other than actually carrying an external battery charger, turn off AR. Now, the reason that you want to turn off AR, I know it's great to have AR and you can see the Pokemon on the walls. You're taking a picture with somebody and stuff like that. You can turn it on for the pictures, but I recommend turning it off altogether. Let's say you're walking somewhere and the Pokemon's pretty far away. You can click on it and the Pokemon will show up. You don't have to be pointed in that direction. Like let's say, like, for example, you're in a restaurant and you're catching Pokemon. Let's say you're in a mountain and you're catching Pokemon, and in mountain you have to like aim low to catch that Pokemon, or in the restaurant you have to aim your camera at somebody. That's pretty rude, and some people are not gonna enjoy that. Not everybody is playing Pokemon Go, and not everybody understands. So if you turn off AR, wherever your phone is like facing, it doesn't matter where you move it, your Pokemon always gonna stay in the center, and then you're able to go ahead and actually take your Pokemon with you, as they say, and then just capture it. It takes as much time you need to capture it before they do run away. And then also it saves your battery. It just saves a lot of battery because it's not using the camera and all that stuff for the AR services. There's different levels of way you can catch a Pokemon. There's just a nice throw, there's a great throw, and then there's excellent throws. So one of the ways that you do that, most people curve the ball. You get some points for curving the ball. You get some points for like getting it inside the circle and like getting those different ones. So do that. Another thing that people have been doing just to save battery is downloading your Google Maps like offline, so you can get your cache and you can save it onto your phone, so that way you can still walk around without it having to keep your location services on and keep on draining your battery, because it's as long as it's looking to see where your GPS is located, your battery is being used because it's always using up your data. It's using all these services, so it's gonna be killing your battery. So those are two little quick tips. I'm not sure if you have any other ones for yourself, but I always recommend just doing those two things, and it's gonna save yourself a lot of a headache, especially when your phone is dying really quickly.
Well, I guess the only big tip I have is we're still really early on in the game, so a lot of people like still don't fully understand how to play a lot of different parts of it. One thing I would say that I was so surprised, we have a friend who was like level 14, level 15, and he didn't know that Pokestops had another purpose other than just being something you put a lure module on. If you click the Pokestop and you spin the bubble, I'm sure 90% of you know this, but if there's the 10%, if I can help one person out that didn't know this before and save you money, then I'm glad, because this person went and bought Pokeballs because they didn't know that you have to spin the little picture and then it gives you free stuff. It gives you Pokeballs, it gives you eggs, it gives you all kinds of different cool stuff. So yeah, I mean, other than that, don't be afraid to like go different places. If you do see something like the steps is a really big one too, I would say. So if you see 3 steps, I've heard that it's 100 yards. It could be 150 yards, but this is the research I've seen: 100 yards. And if you keep going and it disappears, then do a 180-degree turn, start walking the other direction. And then you keep going, and until it gets to 2, then you know you're going the right way, and then eventually you'll find it. But if you keep going the same way and then it disappears again, then you need to go back and then turn 90 degrees and then try and go that way. So basically just different ways to find those really rare Pokemon that are probably not going to be in easy to find places. I mean, I walked to the other side of the lake out onto a peninsula to find a Dratini a couple nights ago. So you just kind of see what you have to do to find Pokemon like that, like Dratini, Kangaskhan, the different really rare Pokemon that you're gonna want to try and find. So
Yeah, and I mean, of course, the main one is when you click on the actual main Pokeball itself. It'll brings up the settings. On the settings, you can turn off the music, turn off the sound effects, and just click on battery saver, which means that when you can put it in your pocket, it'll kind of dim it and save your battery that way, since you want to have it on as you're walking to kind of hatch that egg. But the main thing about this is have fun and make friends.
yeah,
You're
don't
gonna
be
be
afraid
out
to
there.
talk to people in those areas.
Yeah, like the thing about Pokemon is that when you tell people, "Hey, did you find so and so Pokemon over here?" Like, you ask them first, "Hey, are you playing Pokemon? If so, hey, did you find such and such Pokemon?" Don't go up to a random person and be like, "Yo, where's the Charizard? Where's the Squirtle? Come on, man, tell me." Like, that's not gonna fly. A lot of people are not gonna enjoy that. So, just make sure you backtrack from that. But again, enjoy yourself, have fun, and as they say, go ahead and catch them all. So that is Pokemon. We're gonna talk about it more for sure. I'm pretty sure as more things come out. I know that Niantic has mentioned that they're already thinking about putting in trading for the game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy because you can trade with your friends. Maybe you can sell it on the black market. I mean, I don't know how it works. We don't know how that's gonna be. Maybe you can make a CSGO Lotto website. Pokemon Go Lotto. Whatever you want.
Well,
Just make sure
there's always the possibility too that they can add in then more generations and more generations as the cycle continues. I don't know if that would be like a new game or if it would, I don't really know how they would do that, but there's always room for improvement and expansion.
Yeah, it's always just make sure you're like you treat it all lightly, and of course if you make a video about it and it's sponsored, make sure you do go ahead and disclose that. So again, right now that we're talking about trading in Pokemon, we did talk about CS:GO Lotto last week, and Team Arn and Pro Syndicate. Another thing, pretty much a quick update on that. We do have they do have a formal lawsuit going against them. They do have a class action lawsuit going against Team Arn and Pro Syndicate for the CS:GO Lotto indication, and of course against Valve. Valve is already being sued for the actual appropriations of skins. Valve has recently pretty much been breaking down all the betting sites and pretty much stopping third-party trading. So all of that is going on right now. A lot of people are like, I can't go betting sites anymore. They're trying to take their skins back from the betting sites because Valve is pretty much going to stop it. And some of the places are saying we don't have enough skins, so you're not gonna get your stuff back. So if you do have your skins out there in betting sites, just go ahead and get them back and put them back in your inventory. Or you're not gonna be able to sell them on your market. You're not gonna be able to use your skins if you wanted to use them, let alone try to sell them. So again, just be careful with those sites. More of that will be talked about next week when we have more indication of what Valve is gonna be putting through and using through as far as these new rules in place and implementations. A lot of Twitch streamers are not gonna be able to use and use these betting sites for stream. So a lot of them are saying, how is Counter-Strike viewership gonna be looking because they can't use these sites, blah 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 blah. Let me tell you, I was watching the Counter-Strike major this weekend. I'm not sure if you were able to catch it, but man, watching Counter-Strike in a competitive format is probably one of the best things I ever get to see. I mean, I've been to the League of Legends World Championships. I've seen it live. I've seen Dota. I mean, but watching Counter-Strike, it's just insane. Some of the things that these people pull off. Of course, we talked. We had Team Liquid in the actual finals this time. So go North America. Finally, an American team in a major final, and no European team was in the final this weekend, which is another milestone that's been crazy because it's always predominantly dominated by European teams. I'm not sure if you were to catch any of the games yourself.
Oh no, not really. But I mean, like you talked about, that kind of environment is always so insane. Like I was semi-pro for a little bit on Halo 3, maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and like those FPS type games competitively are just on a different level than things like League and those kind of top down type things. But yeah, no, I bet it was insane. I mean, they've got the TV deal now, like it's so big. I mean, I'm not surprised that it was as an intense atmosphere as you say.
Yeah, I mean they have E League, and of course Turner Broadcasting now is pretty much broadcasting E League. They did kind of have a little bit of a discussion going on with E League for Counter Strike. Now the reason I bring it up is because it is one of the major esports out there. And now what happened recently is this team called Luminosity Gaming. They're a Brazilian team that pretty much is now on the up and up and pretty much one of the best teams in Counter Strike. They won their last major that they were in as Luminosity Gaming, but then they were sold out and they were bought out by SK Gaming. Some of the contract negotiations were a little bit iffy, so I'm not sure exactly how a lot of that went down. But in the end, Luminosity Gaming and SK Gaming pretty much settled on their own accords and settled the actual selling of the team. So SK Gaming is now the new Luminosity Gaming, which is pretty much the old Brazilian team of like Fallen, Coldzera, and stuff like that. E League has actually gone and said that they're not going to be able to participate in their tournament because of the fact that it's considered a roster change. Now, a lot of players are saying, hey, the league, the actual team didn't qualify. The players qualified. So like, are they saying that if Luminosity Gaming just puts in another, like a bunch of other people together, are they going to take that spot? Are they going to qualify for that spot? Because technically the players themselves are the ones who earned that spot. Not Luminosity Gaming. It was SK Gaming. Now known as SK Gaming. They're the players who earned that spot. But E League has pretty much said the rules are there. It's considered a roster change last minute. It's an illegal roster change in their eyes, so they're not gonna let them compete, which is a little bit crazy because you're getting TV viewership, but you're not gonna let the number one Counter Strike team play. Now I say number one because we had the ESL major in Cologne, Germany happening. We had Fnatic against Team Liquid. We had Virtus Pro against SK Gaming. SK Gaming and Virtus Pro was probably one of the best, like two, semifinal matches that I've ever seen. They actually SK Gaming actually lost the map to Virtus Pro, and then you had Team Liquid against Fnatic, the American Dream going against probably one of the biggest powerhouses in Counter Strike. They have the main man Olaf Meister. Unfortunately, Fnatic was not able to pull it off, but fortunately for us, Team Liquid, like I said, went ahead and progressed to the finals against SK Gaming after pulling some of the best insane plays I've ever seen. Like for example, the guy named Team Liquid called Simple. He pulled out a 2 sniper shot, no scopes. And one of the things that they do in Counter Strike, they go ahead and put a graffiti like in certain spots based on like crazy moves. For example, in the last major, Coldzera was able to kind of no scope a lot of the actual Luminosity Gaming people in order to actually go ahead and continue to the final after pretty much almost losing the match, they brought it around and pretty much won it. So they put up a graffiti spot in that same spot. They put up a snipe with the scope and then 4 skulls on top of it. So then you see Simple kind of pull out a crazy 2 kills, no scope, and then everybody's talking about graffiti styles and stuff like that. But then Code Zero comes back and pretty much lets them know that the SK Gaming is the #1 CS:GO team and pretty much pulls off some of the most amazing plays. They didn't lose the match. They won 2-0 in the end. The Brazilians take it, but Team Liquid, we finally had a North American team in second place. Team Liquid has a thing that they're known for is fourth place, but they finally broke the curse and they are now second place. But with that being said, the viewership for Counter Strike was like 500,000 just on Twitch alone. That's not, an MLG or anything like that else. Like, that's not them showing it on other places. The main Counter-Strike ESL Twitch was just 500,000. So, I mean, people talking about CSGO betting going away and making the viewership for Counter-Strike go down. I don't think that's going to happen. You have Overwatch now using any skin betting, and they're #1, #2 now with Counter-Strike and League of Legends. So, I don't see betting making any difference. I'm just glad that they're getting rid of it. It's unregulated. Again, minors are using it, so finally they're getting rid of that. Will Valve implement something on their end? We're not sure, but again, that was a quick breakdown of Counter Strike. I enjoy watching it, so if you guys enjoy watching it as well, I mean, just stay tuned for E League, I guess. But again, no SK Gaming, so unfortunately, not the #1 CS:GO team won't be there. But with that said, and we're gonna talk about more about esports. And I'm going to go ahead and make a quick switch here to something that's a little bit different, more endearing to our listeners. FIFA 17. So they announced that their actual game is actually going to come out September 29th. Today, we had Dragon playing against the esports player for FIFA for West Ham United. Playing against another esports team. And West Ham is tweeting out all about it. They're making sure that people know about it. We mentioned last week that Manchester City had actually announced their own esports player. I mean, esports is here to stay. Esports is pretty much going to become a big thing. And one of the things that we recently heard was the guy named Colin Hurd, the guy from ESPN that was talking shit about Heroes of the Storm being on ESPN2 when they had the Heroes of the Storm competition, is now talking about investing in an esports team. So I don't know how that's gonna really work for him. I mean, I'm pretty sure if people see the money, they're gonna take the money. I mean, you know what they say, you talk a big game, but you see that the money that it's making, of course, you're going to come running back to it. But I'm definitely looking forward to that. I mean, FIFA's going to be it's getting bigger with all these pro clubs getting into the tournament style for FIFA esports. The FIFA Interactive World Cup is definitely going to be a big thing. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But then again, September 29th, what do you think? Is that the right time? Do you think FIFA 16 is going to still have enough to push people to buy FIFA 17, or do you think it's not gonna be enough? People are you gonna wait a little bit to see what FIFA 17 is all about? What are people just gonna watch streamers and see how well the game is before they buy it, or you think people are still gonna buy it outright just because it's FIFA?
I just think people are going to be motivated to buy it because of how bad this iteration is, that people are going to be like, there's no way this can be as bad as what we're being forced to play right now. People have to get their FIFA fix. I think that if you're a FIFA gamer, you're a FIFA gamer. You can look at my Ultimate Team Club. Has been here since 2010, and I haven't stopped playing FIFA since then. PES is obviously making strides, but I don't think it's ever going to be what FIFA really is as a powerhouse. And especially with the new game modes, the Alex Hunter thing, although it is a novelty, I think it's going to be enough to drive people to want to buy it, to play through the story. And also, Ultimate Team, I mean, who isn't going to want to play with Ibra in the Premier League? Who isn't going to want to play with this crazy new revamped United team? But no. FIFA is going to be crazy again. I think the 29th is a perfect date. I think they did it 2 weeks earlier last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think they did it, was it September 12th last year? September 11th or something like that last year? Yeah, September 12th last year. And so, yeah, I think this will be a fine date. Obviously, you'll be seeing FIFA 17 beforehand from like EA Access members and, from people playing the beta and the demo and all kinds of stuff. So not before long, you're going to see FIFA 17 content. And I think FIFA 16 is going to fall by the wayside really quickly because I think everybody just wants to be done with this game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I myself don't play it. We do have title race that's actually still again there. We are holding a FIFA 16 tournament with our stream team. A lot, pretty much 15 of the small streamers all competing to see who's the best of the best are. We do have some people that we're lucky enough to be joining other tournaments and stuff for other, other big YouTubers and stuff like that. More to come from them as well. You can go to titlerace.com/stream team. You can check them out. You can check out when they're live, and you can of course go to titlerace.com and check out the actual tables for that FIFA 16 tournament. We are gonna have a FIFA 17 tournament, of course, and more to come on that information as well. Later episodes, and then we'll talk about that, break that down, and we're gonna tease a little bit thing here. We're gonna probably bring some of them in, talk to them, and get to know them a little bit more, so you guys can see who you want to follow, who you want to go ahead and root for, and we'll see what else we can bring as far as the next tournament we have for title race. Now, talking about content and creating all that stuff and everything that's been happening in the world, and of course the non-disclosure that FTC has pretty much ruled on for Team Martin and Pro Syndicate, which they're having their own issues with. TheVerge.com recently came out with an article. Now I'm not gonna give them credence as far as putting the article out, and this is the reason why. They put out an article talking about the FTC finding Warner Brothers at fault for paying YouTubers for positive reviews. Now, the title itself, it says Warner Brothers at fault for paying PewDiePie and other YouTubers for not disclosing the fact that they were paid for positive reviews. Now, one of the things that the Verge, of course, with the day in day out now articles that are out there, it is a clickbait article. It is using the name PewDiePie because he's one of the biggest YouTubers in the world for clicks. PewDiePie recently came out and put out a video pretty much talking about this. Total Biscuit has pretty much come out and defended him as well. His disclosure was there. This video is for Middle Earth Shadows of Mordor from 2014. The FTC did not put out rules as far as non-disclosure in 2015. PewDiePie, even though he was not really told to put out a disclosure because you didn't really have to, based thanks to the FTC, they hadn't really put out rules and regulations that you couldn't mistakenly not see. I didn't know better, blah blah blah. PewDiePie still went out there and put descriptions. The descriptions, unfortunately, were under the Seymour flap. So, the FTC found that this wasn't good enough for like the disclosure, and of course, it wasn't actually mentioned in the video. It was only mentioned in the actual description. So they thought it wasn't good enough. Again, this was in 2014. In 2015, the FTC puts out the rules out, but in 2014, PewDiePie still puts that disclosure in his actual description. Nowadays, when PewDiePie does videos that are sponsored, he does put it. He does say it in the video itself that it is sponsored. I think if you're gonna call somebody out and pretty much on the heels of this CSGO Lotto scandal that everybody's now talking about, now everybody's trying to find other people that are doing shady shit in YouTube and shady stuff as far as like content making. Please do us a favor and stop using those clickbait articles. Stop throwing people under the bus that shouldn't be thrown under the bus, especially when they did something that's correct. PewDiePie's video is pretty much intense and out there, and he mentioned something that he's pretty much is true. He has more viewers and followers than some of these these websites, gaming review websites that he does. And at the end of the day, he doesn't do gaming reviews. He just does let's plays. He said I had fun playing this game, or I didn't have fun playing this game. Do I like his content? Not really. It's everybody has their own taste, but the person behind the content is always different. They're not gonna be exactly how you see them on video. And the way he defended himself, the way he put it out there, makes it so that he is smart about what he does, and he has been following the rules and been going about it the right way. At the end of the day, though, if you are a content creator, if you are these people putting up let's plays and putting up, like for example, putting up podcasts and stuff like that, make sure that you put in the description. Make sure you say it in your video. This is a sponsored video. We got the key for free from such and such PR company and all that stuff. Because at the end of the day, if you ever get big enough, you don't want to get in trouble for that. So that was a quick segment on that. I know we talked about CSGO Lotto last week. We don't want to talk about that any more than we already did, and then we don't want to talk about more of the FTC stuff. So just follow the rules. Make sure you're if you think it's something might be shady or maybe you're not doing it the correct way, do it the way you would want to think it's correct, and make sure of course you can always read the FTC rules to see how it should be disclosed. And at the end of the day, you shouldn't have any trouble for it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure how you feel about any of those articles or any of the stuff that's happening with all this stuff. Being a content creator yourself, and of course me being a content creator, and us trying to bring more stuff to the table as far as content creation goes.
All right. So when you consider that Lex and I have both done let's plays for like smaller indie developers before, you can see at the beginning of our video and in our descriptions we put that we were given the game for free, and that means that obviously we're not probably gonna rate it as harshly as we would a game that we bought at retail for full price. So if I went out and bought Blades of the Righteous for the price it was stated for and then played it, it might not have been as positive, but you don't know that because I was paid for it. So how are you supposed to really know? But once again, just do it correctly. Let everyone know if you're getting paid for it. Totally agree with everything you said. So yeah, just do the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, of course, when we do say that we get these videos, we get keys for these games or stuff like that, we're gonna go ahead and put it on description. At the end of the day, we don't really do a lot of reviews ourselves. We do let's plays. We show you how the game plays. We show you how much fun we're having, if we are having fun, and we let you know if we're not having fun, if we're not having fun. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's disclosures, disclosures, and a lot of this drama has been kicked up all of a sudden. It's pretty crazy how many people are trying to go out there and find scapegoats as well. So just don't find a scapegoat. Don't be that person either. So I think it was kind of bad on TheVerge.com to kind of put it out there for clicks, not really mentioning that the fact that PewDiePie did actually have the actual description, and then the fact that he did say he was sponsored. If you do go back on webarchive.org to see the deleted, when people delete and change stuff and when the stuff was posted, in 2014 when he uploaded the video, he did post that it was actually sponsored by Warner Brothers. So again, do your research and don't go ahead and blame people for something, especially when they're doing it the right way and they have a big platform to go ahead and let people know that you wronged them in some way, because that's always a bad thing. It'll come back and bite you. So hopefully it doesn't happen to them. Hopefully nothing comes of it in that sense. But enough of that. That was all quick real rundown of pretty much the gaming news and stuff like that we had, and everything that we had to talk about. So let's talk about something more fun and something that everybody always likes to hear from us. What are we playing? So Colin, I've been talking a lot more about all these segments and all this stuff that's gaming news, so I'm sorry to take up most of the time. But Colin, what have you been playing, and what are you streaming when you stream yourself?
Red Dead Redemption. I'm so happy it's back. Oh my god, I've been waiting so long. Like, this is one of those games that in that first batch of backwards compatible games they should have released it. I've said that forever. I still think Mass Effect 2 and 3 should also be backwards compatible, but that's just me. But anyways, Red Dead Redemption, if you haven't played it yet, a lot of people surprisingly haven't played it. I think you mentioned it on last week's podcast, but John hadn't really played it yet. But yeah, it's so good. It's Midwestern GTA. You're stealing horses. You're holding up saloons. You're playing blackjack in the back. It's just all fun. It's so much content, and the story is so good. One of the most famous endings to a video game. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, for those who haven't played it yet, you missed out on a great game, probably one of the best games for Xbox 360. So if you do have an Xbox, go pick it up. But I won't ruin the ending. But definitely one of the best endings that there is.
Yeah, exactly. And if you haven't picked it up, is the sale's over now, isn't it?
I believe so. I think the 11th was the last day for the sale. But they
Yeah.
if you're able to pick it up on
Yeah.
physical copy, like on Amazon or your GameStop or anything, it's pretty cheap. Pick it up because a lot of the add-ons are still free, which is pretty good. They put a lot of the add-ons for free, so you don't. The only thing you have to buy if you do want to buy an add-on is the Undead Nightmare pack, not the collection, but the Undead Nightmare pack.
Yeah, because it really sucks because I bought it last week during the Ultimate game sale, and it was $7.50, which is an absolute bargain for how much time you get out of playing as John Marston, the main character. It's just brilliant, It nails that Western feel. There aren't a lot of good Western games out there, So if you're a fan of that type of genre, if you're a fan of Rockstar and you're a fan of GTA, you're gonna like the game. The missions are great, the characters are relatable. You really get to like Marston. He's kind of snarky and he's kind of a dick, but at the end you end up really really liking him. And what happens is unfortunate. Obviously, we're not going to spoil it, but yeah, great game. Pick it up physical. Pick it up from your discount store or somewhere for $5 or $10. It'll definitely be worth your time.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. One of the things that the Digital Foundry actually put out a actual quick comparison as far as how the game runs on the Xbox 360 and how it runs on backwards compatibility on the Xbox One. It actually runs better on Xbox One with the backwards compatibility. So I think that's pretty great. Not the fact that not only are they actually re-releasing the games, and if you already own the game, be it physical or digital, you already get to play the game without much trouble. But the fact that it actually runs a bit better than it used to back on the 360 days is actually pretty great. It's not a re-release. It's not like they actually went ahead and upscaled any of the stuff, any of that. But it just plays better, and you know that's always a good thing to see with backwards compatibility. I myself, I'm a big fan of backwards compatibility. Like I'll go to my library, I'll go all the way to the right to see, hey, and you still got added? Do I have it? Did I have anything that I owned before all of a sudden come up? And there it is, ready to download without much trouble. Just download it and have that ready to go. So Red Dead Redemption again, like you know, call. If you haven't played it, go ahead and jump on that. I definitely do recommend it. Is there anything else that you've been playing? Well, I mean, I know you've been streaming FIFA. How's the tournament going for you? Do you want to let people know?
I mean, I went into the gauntlet of my schedule. Basically, after I lost to Sean and Jonas, if you guys aren't aware, a couple weeks ago I was around like fourth, fifth. I was looking like I still had a shot because obviously I won the last tournament. I'm a decent player. Like I always thought that I had a chance, but after losing to Sean and Jonas, my hopes were pretty much dashed. And if I was going to do anything, I needed to pick up at least 4 points between the favorites, which was Supa and Spin Bros, who were sitting 1 and 2. I managed to get a draw against Spin Bros, which is pretty good,
Yeah, I saw
considering
that.
they just got into Fatal. You know, they're a really good they're really good players. But then I played Supa today, lost 4-1, got
Oh,
smashed. Supa's a great player. I mean, both of Spin Bros and Supa deserve to be at the top of the table, but it's neck and neck going into the final stretch. Spin Bros right now are in pole position because of Supa losing to Budo Monk. But yeah, I think the tournament's been going really well. I mean, you've been seeing like how our streamers have been getting noticed. You know, speaking of Spin Bros getting the Fatal nomination and all that type of stuff. So I mean, I feel like viewership is up when people stream their games. It always brings the hype. People have been supporting each other really well, always favoriting and retweeting and shouting out each other's games and videos when they get released on YouTube, and it's been really good.
yeah. I mean, I really appreciate the fact that everybody's been forthcoming. And one of the things that when I used to stream FIFA myself is the FIFA community is a great community. They embrace and welcome new streamers all the time. So if you're a new streamer yourself and you're looking forward to going ahead and you know streaming FIFA, I say just jump into it, man. I mean, trust me, the FIFA community is very welcoming. They go ahead and go to the bottom of the depths of the stream team. I'm sorry, of the actual streams on
Like the
Twitch.
pool.
Yeah, and then they find the like the low count streamers and they try to bring them up if they think you're good or if they think you have a good personality. So FIFA is one of those actual communities that is really good to get into. Unfortunately though, when you try to stream something else other than FIFA, if you've been streaming FIFA, they want to see FIFA, so it's gonna be a
Yeah,
little bit harder to
exactly.
get out. So, you know, just tread with caution. Once you play FIFA, you're pretty much stuck in FIFA unless you find a way to get out. So, but it's not a bad thing. It's just that FIFA 16 right now is pretty bad, so a lot of people aren't really like that having that much fun with it. But
Yeah.
everybody always finds a way to go ahead and pretty much enjoy what they're doing. At the end of the day, when you stream, it's just about having fun and you know having fun with your viewers and talking to them and pretty much, as they say, shooting shit and enjoying it. Um, now with the FIFA 16, our tournament is still going on. It is neck and neck. So again, I do recommend going to titlerace.com and checking out the table for actual the FIFA 16 tournament, and then checking out some of the last matches, be it live on Twitch, or you can check them out on YouTube. The top four are pretty much close, like as far as games, as far as goals, and as far as like points left. So it's still pretty close. It's still not over. Some people maybe can come out of resurgence out of nowhere depending on how some of the final matches are left. So I definitely recommend watching and keeping up with that. Now, as far as myself, I still been playing Witcher 3. That game is gonna take me a couple of weeks to pass, and I play it all off stream just because I like to just kind of run around and I like to pick all the flowers and like to pick all the grass stuff and pick all the plants. So I take forever going from quest to quest. So I don't.
Scavenger.
Yeah, man. I don't. So when I stream it, it's gonna be like me of 2 hours just going around picking up all the herbs, picking up all the plants, killing all the little animals in every single which way to get all the experience points that I can before going to the next quest. So I haven't been streaming that, but I am playing that on the side. I recently, like I mentioned before, I streamed Inside last week when it came out. It's only about 3 hours long. There's actually, well, quick spoiler. There's actually a secret ending to that game as well. So not only is there the actual ending that everybody knows about, also a secret ending.
Gotta get those orbs.
Yeah, pretty much. There's orbs there that you got to collect, and if you collect all of them, you can get the ending that pretty much everybody has been talking about as a secret ending as well. Now another game that we recently been playing and a lot of us been playing is actually again another Rockstar game. I've been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto recently, playing the races. I haven't really been doing the actual story mode, but I've been racing like you know with like John and stuff like that on his streams and everything like that. But at this point, I know Colin himself has heard a spoiler cast about it, has seen some videos for the Inside. So at this point, if you are listening and you have not yet played Inside, I do recommend you to go ahead and pause it here, go play Inside, go past it, and then come back to listen to the rest of this. This is gonna be a spoiler section for Inside. We were thinking about probably doing something else, but because the fact this game, I'm still actually I played it like twice already. I'm still going back there because the replayability is pretty high. We are going to talk spoilers, so at this point, if you haven't played Inside yet, go ahead and pretty much pause this, come back to it after you pass Inside. Again, it's only about 3 hours, but it's definitely worth the time and purchase. So, spoiler, Inside. So, Colin, I know you haven't had a chance to really play it yourself. I know you've been listening to it, you've been watching the videos and stuff like that, listening to people talk about it, I'm sorry, and watching the videos. What can you tell from just what you've heard and what you've seen as far as these videos?
Well, I think Playdead does like so well with this tone and with this like type of game. It seems like the game starts out as something that seems predictable and that you know what's going to happen, and then all of a sudden hell just kind of breaks loose, and then you don't know what's going to happen at all. And also that the secret ending seems to blow people's minds a little bit, and it's kind of confusing. But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things in IGN spoiler cast. They talked about how everyone liked it, how it's got a 10 out of 10 from IGN. Not saying it's a perfect game, but you know, it's in that top tier of really, really good games. And for what you get for the amount of time that you play, it seems pretty incredible. So
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, $20 is not that bad of a price for an indie game, let alone a game that is that good for that caliber. Now, could it have been a bad game? But yes, it was a little steep for the actual price when it first came out, maybe. But $20 for that game is definitely worth it, and I do, like I said, I do recommend picking it up. Now, a lot of people have been talking about theories and stuff like that, because one of the things when I started playing the game, one of the things that I thought was happening was that this character was actually running away from people. Like I thought he was like it's trying to escape
exactly.
and trying to get away from these things and everything like that. But the more I play it, the more I hear these people talk about it and stuff like that. It made me realize this kid is actually coming into the compound.
Yeah.
And actually going ahead and controlling all these people and stuff like that and doing the things that he does. And of course getting caught and dying over and over. That's what I did. I got caught so many times the first time I played it. The stupid dogs and I got shot. I mean, the way you die in this game is
The different
brutal,
ways
man.
is just crazy.
Yeah, one you can get drowned. Two, you can get shot. Three, you can get obliterated by like a nuke happening far away. Or the dogs can get you and break your neck. Or like the freaking there's like this thing where this part where you get caught by the light, you get zapped to death. It's like what? It's insane. But one of the things that I didn't notice, like I said at first, was when you kind of slide down, I thought that you were trying to escape from something. But if you pay attention to what the other character's actually doing, he's actually evading all the guards and actually going inside the actual warehouse where everything is happening, which I thought was pretty insane. Like, why would you go inside? Now, a lot of people have been talking about different things happening with the game and stuff like that, and being it whether this child is like, you know, a person that they created, whether this child was something else. My theory is that this is like one of the only people that's able to actually control all of these monsters or like all these mannequins or maybe humans that they make, because these at certain parts it looks like they're mannequins that they're being made into be able to control, and in certain parts it look like they're actual humans, kind of that their soul is taken out of their bodies, like, you know, they're pretty much lifeless, but they're brain dead, but they would be controlled by this machine. But one thing I noticed is that the only the child seems to be able to control these things. Again, it could be a child, it could be a small man. We're not sure what he or she is. Um, but only that person's able to control it. Of course, when you control a mannequin and that mannequin kind of jumps into the portal to put on your brain to control these mannequins. What happens is when you go into the game, there's like this little portal with like yellow lights. You jump up, and normally when it's a rope, you climb up the rope. But this time, when you jump up to that portal, like the little light thing, you actually grab it, you put it on your head, and you can control the mannequins in certain areas, which is pretty crazy because you can use them to throw you up higher. You can use them to land on. You can land on them. They break like their arms and stuff, but they keep on going because again they're lifeless. They don't really care, and they look more like they were mannequins than anything else. But I thought to myself, what if this kid is actually bad? Like, what if he's actually going in there and these are just mannequins, but he's actually like trying to take them away for something else, from some like bad scheme, or trying, because he ends up killing a lot of people at the end, especially a lot of people that work there. Uh, So I thought that was pretty crazy. I mean, as you can see at the end, when you get to the actual like one of the last parts is for the ending where you don't have to find everything. It becomes a blob. Did you see what that blob looked like?
Not exactly.
Dude, so that blob is like a bunch of body parts pretty much put together. There's like the feet at the
Yeah.
bottom and all the hands at the top. There's no face.
Yeah.
He goes into like this tank, and then all of a sudden he like climbs up to into the where the blob is of bodies, and he kind of just digs himself and buries himself into the actual body, and he starts controlling it. And it's like, what? How the hell are you controlling this? And what the hell is this thing? Because then he
Yeah.
goes over to the wall like of the tank, and then he destroys the glass and just escapes and just starts running people over and mawning over. And then some of the best mechanics happening at this part of the game, because you start getting things, you toss over things, you have to think how to control the body. And then the way that the big blob runs and moves, it kind of sways depending on where you're moving. So like you can see that it has weight shifting and stuff like that. Pretty crazy, pretty insane. But we don't know what this kid is doing. We don't know if he's a good guy or he's a bad guy. I mean, obviously he's getting killed. Obviously he's being destroyed by these things. But the things, are they protecting what's supposed to be inside from him? Is he trying to help them escape? Because one of the things that happens in the first ending, in the ending that almost everybody gets, is once the blob escapes and gets out, like it kind of lands on the beach and he just kind of stays there. Nothing happens. The thing is still kind of breathing. I'm not sure. I thought he was gonna pop out of it or something, and he said, "Hey, I'm out. You're out." But it just camera just zooms away and pans out, and then it's just there, breathing. Like little by little, the credits just start rolling, and once the credits are over, it just starts all over again. It's like, the fuck? What
Yeah.
is this? Obviously I'm putting a let's play up as well myself. And you kind of see some of my like reactions to where I become the blob and stuff like that, and it's kind of like, what in the world the hell did I get into? That's just one of the endings. The other ending is a totally different ending. It's kind of a little bit weird as well. But that one you have to collect all the little orbs that you go around collecting. It's like little electricity orbs. The way you get to them is a little bit hard. Some of them are like secret entrances and stuff like that you can find in the game. A lot of places have been putting up wikis and stuff like that to do the full completion of it. But I mean, I know you haven't played it, Colin, but I definitely recommend that you play this game, dude. I mean, even though you've heard so much about it, when you start playing it, it feels a lot different, and you start noticing the different things in this game. And of course, the puzzles aren't that bad, but when you do solve some of these puzzles, like even though they're sometimes pretty easy, sometimes a little bit harder than the other ones. Once you actually solve these puzzles, you feel like, holy shit, how come I didn't see that at the beginning? Like this is
Yeah,
so
exactly.
easy, like something I should have been able to do. So I mean, I don't know if you're gonna pick up the game. I do highly recommend it, even if you're gonna wait till get it later. But this is definitely a game that I do recommend getting, especially if you're an Xbox owner or on PC now. It's on PC, so you can pick it up on Steam. Get that for yourself.
I've heard it's a lot easier than Limbo.
Yeah.
The puzzles.
Yeah, it definitely is, because this is more of a linear platforming game than Limbo. Limbo has like some stuff you got, like where there's like certain zones where you kind of turns dark and you got to remember how certain things are in order to jump. Especially because the thing is, this game gets a little harder little by little and stays that way. It doesn't really become extremely difficult at the end. It doesn't at all, actually, to be honest. It kind of becomes a little bit simpler depending on, based on all the puzzles that you've been doing.
Yeah.
Start understanding how the puzzles work, and then all of a sudden you figure out that, hey, I can do it this way. I don't have to worry about it, and you just pretty much go with the flow. But Limbo, it goes like, okay, it's getting harder, and then it goes, oh shit, it's bad crazy. Good luck. And it's like, okay. It just went from like 5 to 11, and
Yeah.
you had no idea. But on inside, the I think the hard, like the difficulty level, if I'm getting a number from 1 to 10, I think the most difficult, I guess, maybe like a 6 or a 7. So it's not that difficult, But as far as like the reviews and stuff like that, I do recommend it. It is definitely a must buy for Xbox, or just a buy. We do give buys or pass based on different things, and for me, Inside is definitely a buy. I mean, I'm not sure if you're gonna pick it up or just had enough just watching it, but again, do recommend it. But yeah, like Overwatch has a new freaking character. Her name is Anna. She's a sniping healing class. She's pretty insane, and she's also the mother of one of the girls called Pharaoh, who's the judgment range from above rocket launcher chick. That's just in generic terms, but the way that they introduced her and the way that they pretty much showed off Her skill set is always Blizzard does a great job of doing this. Competitive is still getting revamped. They're adding more stuff, and they're actually doing a lot of nerfs and buffs for different characters. So, um, Overwatch, man, it's gonna be here for a while, and it's definitely one of the games that I love playing off stream. Just because on stream I don't really get a lot of people because it's so saturated. You know, I don't really get any viewers, so I don't. And plus,
Yeah.
my internet is sometimes shit that I don't like playing competitive games, and then it freezes on me. So then I feel like I'm missing these shots, and I get pissed at myself for not being better because I know I could be better, but I blame my internet and I blame lag because I can. So it's not because I'm trying to find an excuse, but Overwatch, man, Overwatch. I'm still playing that game. I just don't play it on stream, but I've been playing a lot of Halo more on stream actually. I've been playing freaking Halo 5.
Boo.
Dude, Halo 5 Mondays and Thursdays. That's my schedule. And I've been playing World of Warcraft. Yesterday I was streaming World of Warcraft. I was raiding again. Dude, I was having so much fun with that shit, dude. I went and got some like mythic achievements that I hadn't gotten. The pre-patch comes out next week probably. We're gonna talk about the next week. The pre-patch comes out next week probably.
The FIFA patch came out. The patched chemistry.
Oh. Thank you guys so much for watching the Digital Deluxe podcast. Colin, where can they find you?
They can find me at calling me maybe _ You can find me on Reddit talking shit on Ghostbusters, and you can find us at title_race on Twitter, and you can email me if you want to, Colin@titlerace.com.
What about your Twitch, man? You're not gonna handle your FIFA 16 Twitch, man, so everybody can go find you there as well?
I mean, I guess twitch.tv/2_left_feet. I don't stream that much anymore, but you know, I'll always be on for the games. That'll be retweeted by title_race on Twitter as well. So yeah, find me there.
And of course, you can always find me on Twitter at Lex Exclusives. Unfortunately, again, exclusively Lex was taken, and I cannot get the guy to answer me, so I don't think I could ever get that unless I become verified on Twitter, and I could be like, Twitter, yo, let me get that handle, bro. Of course, you can also find me at twitch.tv/exclusivelylex, where you can find the podcast itself live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. The podcast itself goes up in video form and audio form every Friday morning. We do have it on the Title Race YouTube for the video form. We do have it on Podomatic, iTunes, going up soon on SoundCloud, and going up on Google Podcasts soon as well. But every Friday, we're going to have that up. You can email me any questions you have at alex@titlerace.com. I have my own email. I think I'm part of the Title Race team now. I think that makes me official. We're not sure yet. We're going to see what we're going to call me soon enough. But you can actually email me there if you have any questions or concerns about the podcast. You can always go ahead and tweet your questions using the hashtag DigitalDeluxePOD, and we can check out those questions for the next week. The next week's podcast. We do have some other stuff that we're going to announce next week for some of the stuff that we're going to do for as far as viewer interaction, so we can have that going. And as always, if you guys can do me the favor, if you like the podcast, go ahead and give it a 5-star rating on iTunes. Go ahead and leave me comments in there as well. Just say how much you love me, and I would appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys being here. Digital Deluxe is out.
Bye.